Western New York's severe drought spreads from county to county.
It is no secret how dry it is across Western New York.
This drought that we're in right now in Western New York beginning to drain farmers' bank accounts.
In the left hand is a normal-sized peach, and in the right, peaches grown in a Niagara County orchard without irrigation.
We've never had a drought like this one, according to my father, who's 86.
The drought year was definitely rough for us. So 2016, we had the drought. We didn't know if we had enough water, that we started to cut out crops. So we cut out all of our fall production and our winter production.
2 years ago, we didn't have a decent rain from the time we planted them until we harvested them. And we have 8 irrigation pumps, and we pumped water like crazy. We lost about $350,000.
When we were living through 2016, and it was apparent that the rain was not coming. For 30 years, they've been telling us that the weather is going to get more severe and more unpredictable, and here we are.
Anything can happen. I don't really know what's going to happen. Every year is different. It's hard to say. I think the way the climate changed, the influxes of storms and hot weather and too much rain and that type of thing are going to only get worse.
It was drier than normal, and the odd thing was we started dry. That was the kicker.
In 2016, we spent, I believe, triple the average of our irrigation bill, which I believe is like 35 to 40 grand in water bill.
I'm getting older. You want to slow down a little bit. You're not as quick as you used to be. You can't work the hours you used to work. When you have either weather or financial stresses, it takes quite a toll. I'm willing to change to make things more efficient, and I'm willing to try things, at least on a small scale, and see if it works. Now we'll walk over here and I'll show you the newest way of us planting apples. There are robotic apple pickers being developed. The current version of the robots have a visual eye system that scans the tree, finds the apples, has to compute what's an apple, what's a leaf, what's a piece of wood, and then the robot would have a mechanical arm that would grab the piece of fruit, either grab it with fingers and twist it off, suck it off, or there's a real neat one that actually has a pair of cutters that would cut the stem, which is the one I want. It's a simpler system. It's easier to train people to harvest them, to prune them, to take care of them. The advantage is it can run 24 hours a day. Actually, they work better at night because they don't have the sunlight to mess up the optics. Now, we're not going to see the robot here for at least a couple of years, and then it'll strictly be experimental. They're still working on it. We have no idea what it's going to cost, if it's really going to make sense. They're telling us now if the robot went through here, it would only pick 70% of the apples. You're still going to have to go through and pick the rest of them because it didn't see it's got a little ways to go yet. If you would have asked me 7, 8 years ago if this was going to happen, I would say you're crazy because you couldn't possibly program a computer, write all the code, do every possibility for picking apples. But with artificial intelligence software today, things are different.
My dad's approach to farming is reading a lot of information, what's going on in other regions, what's going on with researchers, what we can do ourselves, and what we can apply from research and education.
I raise the kids to think for themselves and to make their own decisions.
No, we're going to get more rain.
Yeah, that's why I stopped. You're just going to be a little past the spill and keep going, but this is...
I'm the owner. These guys are working for me, but they're going to take over eventually. He's making decisions on what he's going to plant because he's the one that's going to have to farm them, 15 years from now, not me. So let them decide which apple varieties and which peach varieties and which planting system and how the trees are going to be trained. And I let them go ahead and do that. You got to let people make decisions. You can't have robots.